Welcome back, everybody, to another great episode of No Cover TV Podcast. I'm your host, Big Al, and I take that original, local, and national music and I just kind of put it in your face, maybe slap you around a little bit. I want you to listen to it. There's a lot of great music out there of all genres, of all age groups. Please check it out. Do me a favor. Turn that damn radio down, put your head out the window, and take a listen, because you're missing out on a lot of great music. Check them out wherever they are, in the clubs, the venues. Pay the cover charge, buy the swags, get the CDs, the merch. Support, support, support. My three favorite words. Please support these artists. They're doing this to make you happy, and they're doing it because it makes them happy. Yeah, it's a big, happy family. That's how it works, people. So you want to get on the show if you're a musician, artist, whatever genre. If you're under 18, I'd like your parents' permission and them to be on the show like all the others have been. Please check out the previous shows and, of course, the upcoming shows. We've got some crazy ones coming, people. Oh, we do. So get a hold of me at No Cover TV at Facebook page, No Cover TV 1 on Instagram, No Cover TV at yahoo.com, and Al Brady on No Cover, our Facebook page. Yeah, I'm sure that's right. Yeah, that's right. Well, we've got
listen and play back in like 5 minutes.
So we got a great show for you today. Oh, this is going to be fun. In the house, not in the house, but in the house, in his car, driving down 10 out west. Bad Horse featuring Michael F. Rose. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Al. How are you?
I'm doing terrific, my friend. Doing terrific. Yeah. So you're on the road going to California, in California.
I'm all over the place right now. It's an amazing time, and being on the show with you is super cool. I really appreciate you having me on. I love what you're doing for indie music, man. We're getting to this strange place now where, we have opportunities to do other stuff, but I just feel so committed to the independent music industry. I feel so committed to the guys that are spinning the songs for us and giving us all these plays and helping us build this monster together, because we're better together. And if I get a little sidetracked because I'm exhausted and I've been on the road, just dial me back to that. We're better together.
I understand the road lag. I've been there. My friend, a lot has changed. We talked, about 3-4 weeks ago, maybe longer? We chatted.
Oh, yeah.
You were back.
Yeah, we had a great talk.
Yeah, you were back in your home state of Idaho.
My beautiful home state of Idaho. We were talking before we went live, and
yeah,
I landed in Palm Springs and got off, and I felt that desert breeze in my face, and I went, I'm home.
Yes, I love Palm Springs. I did a few jobs out there. I love that. I love that little city out there in the desert. So we got some catch up. We got quite a bit to cover, but I'm going to pick on you for a little bit. Are you driving?
No, I'm actually in the passenger seat. My brother John's driving.
All right. Hey, John, how you doing, brother?
Hey, John. Al said, hey.
All right. Good deal. All right, Michael. So when we chatted, you were just starting to form Bad Horse.
It's been a wild ride. I'll try to nutshell this if I can. I really have trouble cliff noting how amazing this band is, and I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm talking about my players. I'm talking about my bass player, writing partner, my spirit animal, Bob Umphris. Right. One of the most, and he'll never say that he is this, but Mark Hume, one of the greatest guitar players that I've ever known, definitely the greatest guitar I've ever worked with, and writing partner. He co-wrote 57 Chevy with me.
Nice.
We wrote a song called God Only Knows that we just recently recorded. And then now we have on, and I do have to give credit to Greg Kirkus was our original drummer.
Okay.
And Greg did a lot of really good work with us too. He plays on 57. He plays on a ton of the stuff that's already been released. But now we have Flip Perkins, who's just an absolute monster.
Really?
And yeah, it's like every single time I right when I think things can't get any better, they get better.
That's great. I know that you were looking forward to some things happening, and we're going to cover a few bases on that when we get down the line here. But first, Michael, I want to find out a little bit about you, okay? So, I'm crawling into your head. You might not be crawling. All right, I'm getting in that mind of yours. What the hell is that?
Welcome in. I hope you don't go crazy while you're in here.
I'm trying to figure out what that is right there. No, I'm just kidding. All right, Michael, let's do it. Let's take you back. All right, 15 years old. Got the record player going. What is on it? What's playing? What are you jamming to?
I'm listening to Foreigner 4.
Foreigner 4.
Rolling Stones' Tattoo You.
Yes.
I'm listening to Journey.
Oh.
I'm listening to, and then I'm going to that's at my mother's house now, and then I spend a lot of time at my grandparents' house, and I'm listening to Hank Williams. I'm listening to Johnny Cash. I'm listening to my grandfather, the late Richmond Robinson, who was a great cowboy poet and a wonderful songwriter.
He was.
And it's this whole merger of that. That's why I'm so happy to be a part of the Big Records family now. And we'll talk about it a bit, but we're gonna release a few songs with Sony Orchard here at the beginning of the new year.
Good deal.
And what's so cool about it is they can help me figure out what I am, what genre I am, because we kind of span through. We've got country. We've got a song right now that you can hear. Locked and Loaded Lonely on Spotify or any other app folks are listening to.
Yeah.
Nothing New Under the Sun. We have all that stuff in it. Some of that stuff has like a country rock.
It has a country
undertone. It definitely has a country rock feel to it.
It does have the country undertone. Yeah.
Yeah. So everything has that resonance of country that comes from my grandpa and his influence. But then I go over to Mom's house, man, and I'm listening to all my rock stuff, and then I'd come out and I'm listening to Donna Summer, and I'm listening to Hall & Oates, and I'm listening to Dan Fogelberg, and so I was really just inundated by the greats, and I have to give credit where credit is due, because my sensei lyrically is Sting.
No.
Yeah. If you listen to all my lyrics, people come up and go, "Oh, I love your lyrics, man." I'm like, these are lyrics that pale in comparison to my sensei. So Sting was my lyric bar.
Sting was.
So I always tried to, produce at least in my corner, in my department, because like I said, I musically I'm surrounded with one of the best bands in the world.
Yeah, you are.
My job is to write songs and carry a lyrical content that is as effective, I don't know if that's the word, or as sincere as how badass this band is. So my guys kind of set the bar, and Sting set the bar, and all these other writers and artists set the bar. I'm just trying to see if I can get my nose up to it, really.
Well, I think you're hitting that part. Like you said, you're badass. And the way I look at it, you're doing pretty much some outlaw country there. You got the country undertone with the rock and stuff, and you're doing it your way, and it's really cool. It is.
Thanks, Al. I appreciate it. I think my spirit is more outlaw country than my music.
Okay. Well, you play your music, so it all comes together.
It does merge. At the end of the day,
it's true.
I have to raise my hand and claim everything I sing and say,
right.
and I mean every word. And that's one thing that we notice from folks that are coming on board with us. Not just amazing folks that are doing the work that you're doing to get us out there. Mark Rosner and the whole Big Records family, and David, Sony, and my musicians, everybody, it's such an amazing collective. See, I'm an old athlete. That was my thing. In my younger years, I was a jock.
All right.
And it's so amazing to be on such a... I tell everybody on this team that, and I don't know if this will make sense to anybody, but this, and you included, Al, you're part of this team. We are the 96 Chicago Bulls.
We are.
And there's nothing that's going to stop us from achieving the goals that we're trying to achieve, because there's no quit in us.
That's right. Put our foot through every door, kick them down, move.
Well, it takes takes friends like you to open them too. So it is definitely about relationships and partnerships, and making sure that that's in that sincerity that you know that what you're trying to accomplish is as important to me as what I'm trying to accomplish.
Right, exactly. Now, you went way ahead of me, but I'm going to bring it right back. Okay, let's jump right to it, okay? You did get signed. You did get signed. Yes, you did, with Big Records. Yeah, they're good people.
Yeah, they sure are.
They are good people. Yeah.
Do you want to ask me a question about it, or do you want me to just continue my tirade?
Well, a little of both. Do you know Michael Bublé, I'm sure?
Michael Bublé is an amazing artist, and I'll tell you what, I had the music, but I didn't have the platform, and I didn't understand the platform. And all it took me was one message to ask him, "Hey, I need some help understanding, because here's what I'm good at: writing songs, singing songs, entertaining, performing. That's the stuff I'm good at."
Right.
And I asked Michael Bublé, how do I surround myself with a team of people that are as good at what they do as what God's blessed me with the ability to do? Because outside of that spectrum, I'm terrible. My social media game, if it wasn't for Tara and Big Records, I mean, it was rough. So,
that's
it's
good.
Michael Bublé. Everybody listening, Google search, listen, follow, support Michael Bublé band. He's an amazing artist. He's definitely he's a good guy. And back to what I was saying about, hold up, it's loud.
Yes, Michael Bublé. Yeah, Michael Bublé is a great guy. We just did a second interview with him a few days ago, last week. Yes.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Yeah, second.
Yeah, I
interview.
can't wait to meet him. He's out in Philly. We're going to get out there in the next few months, and I haven't met him in person. We've spent quite a bit of time together, texting and talking on the phone, but we haven't had that opportunity face to face, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, he's a great guy. We always have a lot of fun on the interview, just like we're going to have a lot of fun. Definitely. So, yeah, I went over his kind of contract with him a little bit, very nicely. It was very nicely put together by Big Records and stuff, and Sony. It sounds like it's basically the same, probably what you were presented with almost.
We had a similar opportunity.
So
I just couldn't be more grateful.
Good.
Go ahead, Al. Sorry.
Good. No,
like I said, I'm on the road. It's a little loud at times, so if I step on it, just holler at me.
Not at all. No, I was just going to say, I don't think I need to nitpick at the contract at all. They're good people. Sometimes I just like to make sure the artist is taken care of. That's all.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Sure, they're definitely doing their due diligence and fulfilling every aspect of the agreement. And we're at the stage that I'm at, because I signed shortly after Michael Bublé did.
Yes, you did.
And we're still building infrastructure and trying to make sure that, based on the art that we have, that everything is in place that needs to be in place, because I truly believe that not every song, but I definitely feel very confident in this project that we do have a handful of songs that I think could really get legs. And once we do, I'm surrounded by an amazing team that can help me finish all that up, because I got to the point where I just couldn't do it by myself.
No, you can't do it all. Not at all. And to have Sony, did they bring Sony and Orchard along with you?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't in the early negotiations or discussions.
Okay.
And what was so nice about it was when I was talking to Sony Orchard, it was my understanding that through Big Records, the artists there can most release a song, and it looks like through what we're doing, we're going to have an opportunity to release 3 songs.
Nice, 3.
And and we'll pace it. We'll take our time with them. We have a song. The first song we're going to release with Sony Orchard, you can listen to now, but if you want to hear it, it's called "Still America" by Michael F. Rose. By Bad Horse featuring Michael F. Rose, or "Still America" by Michael F. Rose, because I had written and released that song before we formed Bad Horse.
Right.
But I'm going to have to pull that song down in the next couple of weeks, because it needs a couple months, to sit on ice before we do the the re-release through Sony Orchard.
Okay, so like Michael's be Sony and Orchard are taking care of your distribution and label, and then Big Records is taking care of management PR for you.
That about sums it up, yeah.
Yeah, good deal, good deal. Let's move on from there. I'm just so proud of you, Michael. That's cool, because that's what you were looking for, my friend. Yes, you were.
Thank you, brother.
So,
yeah.
I still want to jump in the past a little bit, because you've done some amazing stuff. You before Bad Horse formed, you've been jamming for quite a while. Yeah. So
I've been I've been writing, and little backstory on me.
Yeah.
Is I put my music career on ice for a lot of years because I saw what the industry and the way it was back then and what it did to a lot of my friends and their families.
Oh my!
And I raised 5 kids.
Ooh.
And when my youngest got old enough to say, "Hey, Dad, I'm good. It's time."
Yeah.
I hit the ground running, and I have a catalog of almost 200 songs.
No.
I mean, so as much as I put everything on ice for a bit, I really stockpiled a lot of weapons when it comes to quality music. And what's so amazing too is I have Mark Hume and Bob Upfriss and Flipper. It's almost as though I can't record this stuff fast enough. Not only the existing catalog, the stuff I'm writing by myself, and the stuff that we're writing collectively as Bad Horse. There's just so much amazing music coming out of this project. I'm so happy and so blessed to be a part of that team.
That's a blessing. I am so happy for you, because now you get to wake up thinking music and go to sleep thinking music.
Amen.
Beautiful.
We talked about that. That was that's where we were trying to get this right. Remember when we spoke the first time?
Yes, we did. That's what you were hoping for. Amen, brother. Amen. Now, everybody in podcast land, you need to check out Bad Horse featuring Michael F. Rose. What platforms can they find you on, Michael?
Any app in the world, basically. Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Prime Music, whatever your primary source of music is.
All
Go
right.
on there, search Bad Horse or Michael F. Rose, and the songs will come up. Right now, we have 2 Spotify pages.
Okay.
What we're going to do is slowly on the Michael F. Rose Spotify page, where there's songs that are Michael F. Rose featuring Bad Horse, which is what I had to add to them because I had released a handful of songs prior to the formation of Bad Horse.
Gotcha.
And we have our Bad Horse, just Bad Horse, H-O. I was at a show and I said Bad Horse, and a lady said, "What's your name?" And I knew what she thought I said.
Right.
Like, not Bad Horse. That's a few years ago.
Right.
Now we're just making good music.
Oh, that's something else.
So Bad Horse, and so we're going to pull down a few songs on the Michael F. Rose Spotify page, and then we're going to re-release them. And then they'll show up on the Bad Horse page. And I do have to say something if I can now. I don't want to run too long. I hope you don't mind.
Go ahead. It's your show.
I have a song called Cinnamon Creek.
Yes, you do.
That I wrote years ago. I wrote about my grandmother. I wrote this song probably 12, 13 years ago.
Okay.
And my grandmother used to say, and I'll sing it, "You catch more flies with honey, honey, and the world's cold when you wake up, money, you just can't see the forest for the trees." And she used to say that to me because as a little kid, I was a pretty hot-headed dude.
Right.
And she would always grab me gently by the arm with her little crooked fingers, who raised 6 kids and me doing laundry on a washboard out of Charleston, West Virginia.
Oh, wow.
And she'd grab me by the arm when I got hot under the collar. She'd say, "You catch more flies with honey, honey.
Oh, my.
You catch more flies with honey, honey." So one day, I came home from work one day about, 10 years ago. And I said, I strummed an A, and I said, "You catch more flies with honey, honey." And I went, "I'm not going back to work." So I called my foreman. I said, "Hey," I said, "you got it, man. It's all yours. I won't be back." And I wrote that. I spent the afternoon writing that song about her. And I want to make sure that song doesn't get left behind in the rush of everything that's going on with Bad Horse, because it really is. We do the song live.
Good. But
that song is really special to me. It owns a big chunk of my heart because it was Grandma's song. And I would like folks, I would implore you, not because of anything that I've done, but everybody's had a grandma or a mama or an auntie or somebody that loved them and taught them what love was. Because in my life, I grew up pretty rough, and if it wasn't for that loving influence of my grandmother, I couldn't have been that big, loving teddy bear I've been to my kids. And she taught me how to have a soft heart and to catch more flies with honey. Honey,
I love it. That's great.
She wrote that. I didn't write that. She did.
That's great. Bringing back memories, because I lived with my grandmother and she took good care of me too. So
yeah, right on.
That's great. So let's talk about Cinnamon Creek. That actually took right off when you sold 1 million copies worldwide.
We had between 1 million streams and downloads.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that song. It's an anomaly, and it kind of sits in the background of everything else. That's why I wanted to bring that song up of all the songs.
Yeah.
I have a song coming out pretty soon that it kind of reminds me a little bit. It has that Cinnamon Creek flavor because we've been coming out with a lot of stuff that's a little more edgy. We've got Locked and Loaded Lonely, which ironically, I was just talking about Grandma, is kind of a tribute to Grandpa and his Johnny Cash feel that he would play. Nice. And Locked and Loaded Lonely is a single that I think is going to just, do great in its time. But it's called Heard It in a Dream. Because I dream about a third of my songs.
Really?
Yeah, it's a really trippy thing, and it's a beautiful gift, and it's almost like whatever dimension I get to go and listen to and listen to where these songs come from. I remember when it first started happening, it was about 15 years ago, and I started dreaming music, and I would wake up and think, is that my song, or is that a song I heard that I'm dreaming about?
Right. All right.
So I had a publisher back then, and I called him up, and I go, man, I dreamed another song last night. And I will say this too. This is not easy.
Mm-mm.
I will say this for younger artists, it's not easy, but it's worth it. And if you work your ass off and if you don't stop, now here's the kicker. What I've discovered is if you work your ass off because you love it, you could go dig a ditch, which we love our manual labor brothers. Hell, I worked my ass off manual labor for 30 years.
Oh, yes.
When you love something, though you're working hard at it, seems a little easier to do. But the trick is, if you really, it's like a relationship that at least has some healthy components you can develop, right? If you really love it, you don't quit. No. Because if you stay that course, sooner or later, everybody else who doesn't really love it, they'll all quit.
Exactly. You have to have,
and then you'll be the man on the silver mountain or whatever your goal is.
Right. You have to have that passion in your heart, that fire burning, that desire. Yes.
I agree, Al. I think the difference is if you're trying to be something, you run into a problem because if you're not authentically you, see, when I'm doing this, and what I love so much about music is, number one, I love being a part of the arts community. I love everybody's art.
Yes.
I think it's amazing. I love other artists. I support other artists. I think it's just such a fantastic thing to be a part of the arts community because it's from there where I discovered who I truly was. Right. So I have to honor that space, and I have to make sure that when I see these up and comers, I'll tell you this: it's very important to remember if you're trying to become something, if you're trying to, as Mark Hume said, if you're trying to play a character, people can see through that shit a mile away.
Oh yeah. You have to be real.
But once you're authentically you, and some younger artists get it. I know some 20-year-old artists who already know who they are. It took me a while to figure out who the hell I was.
I knew when I was young what I was going to do, but it took a while to get there. Yeah.
Yeah. That's we're in the same boat. I think we're cut from the same cloth, Al. I mean,
Yeah.
not just from being raised by grandma, but
Yeah.
kind of knowing what we wanted. But I think what happens is when you're young, you get all the things you think you need, and you're trying to be who you think you need to be, and then you end up with a situation that might not be exactly who you are, but you still have to be faithful to that, and you still have to do it. You created it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, sometimes you create situations that you wish you never created.
Yeah, well, sometimes we put the cart ahead of the horse, but here's the thing: even if you do, if you love what you do, you just keep going and just keep being you and keep creating content. And I don't mean content. I'm going to take that word back. Keep creating art.
Art. I like it.
The world needs art, especially now. With everything that's going on in the world. Artists are so vitally important. Music is so vitally important. Music is medicine.
It is medicine. I recommend, when you're having babies, play music for them. Raise them with music because it broadens their horizons. They think outside the box and everything.
That's right.
So let's move on here so we don't run out of time, my friend. Okay. Now you're on your way out to California. Are you on your way to do some gigs? What are we doing?
I had a private show 2 days ago, and now my brother and I are on our way for a little R&R.
A little R&R. May I ask where you're going?
A couple days of R&R. Then I got to actually... We had 2 days of R&R. I'm heading back to. Today's Friday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm back in Idaho tomorrow.
You're back home in Idaho tomorrow. Oh boy. So now, when you sign with big records, are we looking to pop a CD out in the next year? Is that what they want from you?
Yeah. It's we've only discussed singles at this point.
Right.
But we do have an album built at Audio Labs, which is an amazing studio, and our good friend Steve Fulton, Audio Labs in Boise. We have 3 songs over there that we're still in the process of mixing and mastering, and then we have a 12-song album.
Okay, 12-song album.
So,
that's nice.
But I'm not in a hellfire hurry to finish the album per se. Because as we build this amazing infrastructure with big records and get the Sony stuff scheduled for release early in 2024, I really wonder how much an album, and other artists PM me, let me know, enlighten me, please. I'm not above a rebuke, but we want to release an album. We definitely want to put something on vinyl.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of people are doing vinyl, and they want it for not just to play, but collector's items.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just for, to have our own piece of plastic and say, we're on this.
Right.
But I think there's a nostalgic, obviously, with the vinyl. But
that's it. That retro is coming back big time.
Our music, and I love the compliments that our fans give us. They come up and they go, man, your music just feels like, it depends on the song. I've had people tell us our music feels like the 70s.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I've been rocking.
It's just mind blowing, and really, I'm just a fan along for the ride in one of the best bands in the world, and I get to write music and serve it up at the Fort over at Bobby's place, and we build these songs, and every single time we get together. We have a song called Every Time She Cries, which I honestly think is absolutely the best song we have. We haven't even recorded it yet.
Oh, really? Oh, I can't wait to hear that.
And it has a Hall & Oates, Sarah Smiles almost kind of feel. That's just to me.
Oh.
And I'm not saying we're Hall & Oates, so I'm not going that nuts here. But I love how I hear the influence of all of these amazing artists that I grew up trying to emulate, showing up in the music now to where once we present it, the people that are listening can really take their heart and grab a hold of that feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's all I'm trying to do.
You're doing a good job. Oh, man.
Thanks, brother.
And it looks like the fans are loving you, man. You're picking up some good fans. They're loving you.
They're all amazing, man. It's when I get on stage and look out I mean, the first thing I want to do is take 10 minutes and just thank everybody for coming. Obviously, I do at some point during the show, but it's just such a wonderful family. And Bobby brought this up, and I thought this was cool too. And this is just my desperate plea to try to build a big, giant music community around this band. But the reason I say desperate is because the Grateful Dead had the Deadheads, and Bobby said, we have the Horseheads.
There you go. Yeah.
And I love family so much. And as I see our fan base growing, it really feels like this enormous family that's just continuing to grow. Everybody's so chill. The type of music we play offers just this loving environment, to not sound too cheesy.
Right.
You know, it's all about the love of us. It really is. There's enough hate in the world.
Oh, God.
You know, we're just all about love. 1 John 4:8 says, for he who does not love does not know God, for God is love, period. If it's not of love, it's not of God. And if it's not of love, it's not part of what we're doing.
That's right. Amen to that, brother. That is right. So now I want to talk about another couple of songs here, and then I got some questions for you, my friend. Oh, I do. Now this new single, what do we got here? Nothing New Under the Sun?
Nothing new.
I like
I'll give you how much of the background you want on that. How long you got, Al?
Give me the short version, okay?
I'll give you the cliff notes.
Yes.
It was during COVID. All I was doing was waking up, and I got caught in a functioning alcoholic loop of drinking and then waking up and feeling so shitty that I would drink again.
Okay.
Knowing that at some point I was going to have to call the ball on that and get the bullshit,
right.
Which I did. I'd never done that in my life, but that COVID time was just such a strange time.
It was.
So I'm sitting there, and it was also at a time where my wife had left.
Okay.
And not for reasons of love between the two of us, but she had some other issues, and she had some family that she was missing desperately, and she drove away, and I was just sitting there going, what the fuck am I doing?
Right.
What am I doing here?
Yeah.
What is this for? And I started thinking about Solomon in Ecclesiastes, like, this is, everything is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Just literally everything we do is futile. It's absolute bullshit, but there's a caveat to that.
Yeah.
The only thing that really matters is love.
One word.
So without love, everything we're doing is just a bunch of nonsense. It's just self-serving bullshit. To take one of my grandfather's words there, and pardon the profanity, I might be getting a little loose with that, but I just, sometimes strong emotion requires strong language. But
that's fine with
so
me.
when I wrote that first verse, pick my guitar and drink another beer. Ain't nothing new going on around here. Damn near been a year. This downtime's making me lazy.
Yeah.
Might play a show, see some friends I know, clean up the glass from all the rocks I throw, right? Because when you live in a glass house, you don't throw rocks, right?
Right.
So that was like my way of calling bullshit on me. And now it's very clear that you leaving is driving me crazy. So it was really just my way of trying to not be metaphoric, except for if you live in a glass house, you don't throw rocks. But I really just wanted to say to everybody, I know how it felt. I know how it feels. Broken hearts are really, really shitty, especially when you love as much as I do.
Yeah.
But I always know at the end of the day, no matter what I'm going through, I need to grow through, because it's only the tough stuff that I go through that really caused me to grow. It's not when we're all having fun, having beers and after show and slapping high fives. I'm not experiencing any personal growth in those moments, really, but it's the tough shit that we go through where we really have to dig in and hold on to our faith in God and our faith in family and our faith in friends and those people who really love us. So that's the origin of Nothing New.
I love that. That's something else. Now, I want to step back, and you mentioned getting on stage and stuff and all that. When you do get on stage and you start going at it and everybody's rocking out and jamming to your music, how's it making Michael's heart feel?
I don't even have a word. It's we do thousands I feel like I do like 1,000 hour work, 1,000 hours of work for like 2 hours of this wonderful euphoria.
It is.
It's not the accolade aspect. I really think for me, it's the opportunity to like take my heart out of my chest and throw it on the stage.
Yeah.
And what I love about it so much is that I see the people that are connecting with the music. They're willing to do the same thing. They're honest enough. They're available enough to just take their hearts out and throw it down and say, yeah, I feel the same way, and that's really all I'm trying to do is just kind of open up my chest, and there's no Superman S under there, but once I pull that shirt open, there's just this human heart that goes through everything everybody else has gone through, and then some. I mean, I'm not comparing my grief or pain to anybody else, but without that, I have a song called Heard It in a Dream I mentioned earlier, but there's a third verse says, we only grow in times of pain. We can't celebrate flowers if we cry about the rain. And it's those lonely, lonely hours that can drive a man insane. Oh, I heard it in a dream last night, right? So it's just my way of saying we all go through this shit together. Life is not easy, but it's so much better together.
Together, that's it. And we talk about mental health on this show sometimes on and off. And people out there that are having troubles, it's okay. It's okay to talk. We are out
100%.
there. We are out
100%.
there. We are listeners. If you want to talk to any of us on the No Cover TV family, we have ears. We will listen. We do care. Yes, we do.
And if I can piggyback on that, Al, but the most important thing I've said all night is right now, I know it's like to have panic attacks and anxiety. I've had them my entire life. My music has helped heal me enough. The fact that I get on stage now and do shows when I was agoraphobic for a year when I was 26.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody out there, if you're hurting, if you're contemplating suicide, PM, get a hold of Al, call me, call somebody.
Right.
But I reach out to me. I can't solve your problems, but I can definitely love you enough to share with you how I overcame what I've been through.
That's right.
And it's still a daily struggle. Like I said earlier, this isn't easy for me, but it sure is rewarding. And it's who I am, so I don't know what else to do. But if you're struggling with mental health issues, and there's a lot of us now that really
we do, yes.
And I have to battle every day. As far as my agoraphobia, I noticed during COVID, and back to nothing new under the sun, if I stay in my house for 2 or 3 days, it's really easy for me to stay in the house for a week.
Oh boy, what is tough?
Yeah, so I get up in the morning, I do my stoic meditation, I do my prayer time, and then I go out in the yard and I work. I have to make myself. I have this system. If I'm not on the road, if I'm not rehearsing, if I'm not writing, if I'm not playing, if I just go home and just sit down, I could in 4 or 5 days be in trouble.
Yes, I have my demons too, and when I have to do shows, I have to have my security and driver and stuff like that, and so we all suffer for something, but like I said, there's somebody always out there to talk to. Yes,
amen.
Yes,
absolutely, and I mean that sincerely. If you ever need to PM me or talk, or and one thing I'll add to that too. I know it's a little off the edge to say, if you're thinking about killing yourself, but there's a lot of people, that's a crisis in the country right now. People don't really talk about, and I'm telling you, if you ever need to talk, call, and I will offer this based on what we talked about earlier in the podcast is, if you're to that point, there's a real good chance, because I've been there years ago, and it was because I didn't know who I was, and I was trying to be everything that I thought everybody thought I needed to be.
Yeah.
And I was miserable. And I wanted to kill that person. Not me. I didn't realize when I was going through it. But I wanted to get rid of that false me.
Right.
So does that make sense, Al?
Yes.
But once I realized that I was loved, and I was a matter of that I was important, I had a handful of friends who really, kind of came along, and they were musicians. and kind of picked me up and said, hey, you have a gift, man. You've been trying to be something that you're not. And, kudos for your efforts trying to do that. But let's see if we can get you on a trajectory where you can be you. And I will have to credit my dear friend, Michael O'Dorn. He was the president of the Chet Atkins Society probably about 20 years ago. One of the greatest finger pickers in the world, Michael O'Dorn.
Michael
O'Dorn made me get on a plane. I was agoraphobic.
Oh, boy.
And flew my ass from Ontario, California to Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, no. I flew into there to Ontario many times.
Oh, my God. And I got off the plane, and I was like, oh, my God. And he's like, okay. He goes, now get in your room. I'll see you tomorrow. You're going to the Bluebird to play. And I went, okay.
Okay, right.
And I went in my room, and all I remember is, I think it was a World Series game. Kenny Rogers was a left-hander for Texas, and he threw a no-hitter. So I put on ESPN because it made me feel like I was home. But the minute that game was over, I felt like I was on the moon.
Oh, all alone on the moon. No.
And he picked me up. The next day, we went to Bluebird. He was also working at the NAM show. We went to the NAM. I played at the NAM.
Nice.
And when I got back on that plane to go home after about a week of this, I remember sitting there reading Mix magazine, and I felt like a whole new guy.
Nice.
But like I said, mental health issues aren't healed in a week overnight. I still have to monitor that to this day and make sure that I'm doing the things that I know I need to do to keep my head in a healthy place, because especially in the music industry.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of pitfalls. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of offers to do things that aren't good for you.
That's right.
Just be true to your art. Be true to yourself. That's right. Be true to your God.
Exactly.
The God. And be true to your family. If you keep those things rooted, and I'll say this to young men too: if you're married, wear your ring on stage.
Please do. Yes. Don't take it off and put it in your pocket, you idiots.
Get to work. The chicks don't dig you that much. They never dig me that much.
No, they don't.
But you know what women like? You know what men like? You know what decent, human beings like? They like somebody who's honest, and they will get behind a family man who's trying to live out his dream and play some music and honor his craft.
A genuine person. That's what we want to see out there.
Yeah. I don't know who that's for, but it's probably for me 20 years ago. But
Right. All right, let's do a couple more questions before we wrap it. We're at 42 minutes. I don't want the computer to start smoking my brother. So these two questions I want to ask. Okay. If you had the chance and you're out there jamming, the offer came in, who is that one person in the world you'd want to be on the stage with, to play with or perform with? Sting, he says right off the bat. I love it. Sting. Yes,
hands down. I got a list. I got 100 other guys that I love, but just right off the bat, Sting. What he did with his art to influence mine is just so enormous.
That's beautiful. I listened to him all through the 80s.
Song structure, And what's really funny, hey, no offense, Sting, I don't really listen to Sting anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody should. He's wonderful if you've never listened to him. And the reason I didn't, because I spent about 10 years of my life, from like 26 to 36, and all I did was listen to Sting. All I did was listen to
Synchronicity.
Soul Cages.
Soul Cages, there you go.
I couldn't figure out on earth. I mean, I know what his motivation was with his father passing and that, but I couldn't figure out how someone created that.
No, incredible it was. Incredible.
So that's still to this day, I have to say, it's an absolute masterpiece. Mm-hmm. Sting, I still do listen to you. Yeah, and I'll tell you how I still listen to Sting. I was visiting my daughter in SoCal today, just outside of Palm Springs, and I walked into her room where her twins were sleeping, and Fragile was playing on the old, so it was playing Fragile. Yes, I still listen to Sting. That came out wrong.
That's good. Well, one more thing I'm going to touch on before we wrap it up. Isn't November 4th a concert come out video shoot?
Yeah.
Is that happening? Are you there, Michael?
An hour live video shoot up front, and then we're going to film the entire show. We're doing a lot of other shots of town a few days prior, and we're doing
little technical difficulties. Come back to me, Michael. Have a little hard time hearing you, brother. You're probably in the desert. He's in Southern California. And I lost the Michael Rose. So we're going to wrap up the show with Michael Rose, and we'll have a second show with him. So I am so proud of Michael. And thank you, Big Records, for picking up Michael Bate and Michael F. Rose of Bad Horse. Both are terrific artists. Watch for them out and about throughout the country touring and their new music coming up on the platforms. Check out Michael F. Rose, Bad Horse on all of the platforms out there. Does amazing stuff. This guy's very talented, and check out the music. Check out the music. So, Michael says, hey, I'm going to wrap up the show for him. Michael, thank you so much for a great time, my friend. Brother, you will be back on the show soon because I want to know what's going on in about 6 months, all right? So everybody out in podcast land, thank you for checking out No Cover TV. This is your host, Big Al. You know how to get a hold of me. Let's get your story and your music out there around the world. I'm out of here, people. Peace.